Okay, yours truly, Blessed Toga here. Could you? I'm wondering the brand of vehicle you drive, because EOCO is on that swoop, right? They are recovering more cars, and the Daily Graphic is talking about this morning. The big story: EOCO recovers 100 stolen vehicles. Warns public to be vigilant. That's the caution from EOCO. I think last week we had that conversation on Upfront. The F-150. Ford F-150, CRVs, and then there's this brand, Range Rover, these are three highly suspicious vehicles, we understand, from EOCO.
And I come to work in a Joy FM car, so no problem there.
I mean, people would sometimes, steal vehicles, ship them to other countries. But you see, if our national security was really functioning, they would know all the stolen vehicles in this country. Because start having conversations with the importers. A lot of them, you would know how they get their vehicles.
Oh, so they are part of this.
I'm saying have conversations with the vehicle dealers. Okay?
You're playing safe, Winston.
Years ago when Mamitiwa started, this whole swoop. There's some people who hurriedly organized a press conference. The reality, when you speak to some of them, they say that, the regular vehicles, if I can put it, is so expensive. So they actually bring in stolen vehicles. They know the people stole them, they buy them, and sell them cheaply here and make money.
And the unfortunate thing is, the one in possession of that vehicle would have to bear the brunt of that. So EOCO is actually warning that if you want to buy a vehicle, please check. Their offices, I understand, is also open. They understand there's this database they have where they can run a check for you to be sure that the vehicle is not stolen, so you are safe. So please be cautious of that when you're buying a vehicle.
There's enough responsibility to go all around, right? If you don't want your car to be seized after you spent money on it, it's in your interest to do everything possible to check that you're not buying a stolen vehicle, right? So that's your responsibility. But also, let's not forget that the state has some responsibilities. At the port, when the car is coming in, we have a responsibility to check that we are not allowing a stolen vehicle to be imported. We have a responsibility.
If you listen to the modus operandi per EOCO, so these guys go rent vehicles, say in Canada or the US. Say you rent for 3 months, you ship it down. Within that period, the car would have been here, and then they trigger the reports after the cars are shipped off. So at the port, you'd never get an Interpol alert on these vehicles that, they are stolen. So they get into the market before you get to realize, it's a stolen vehicle. So if I'm not guessing, majority of these brands of cars that a lot of people are driving in town are stolen. And you get to realize after they're imported.
But you see, in that example you've given of a car being rented, it's still registered as owned by a particular company, right? So, and these are things you can check. These are things that we can still check at our ports, right? The guy who is importing it, is he the registered owner?
Right.
You see,
I mean, that's a simple thing, is it not?
And you guys get why I always say that my dream now is to go to one of the vehicle assembling plants in this country, by the AAAG, sit there, watch them assemble the vehicle.
On Warawaza.
Drive out. It's as simple as that.
Winston has solved the problem 100%.
The VIN will be generated for you.
Right there and there.
Fresh. Yeah,
great. Okay, there are some more stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic. President Mahama in Singapore, of course, is wrapping up his tour to parts of Southeast Asia. And then the Z9 helicopter crash, the probe is underway, and that announcement has been made by the acting defense minister. Reports, we understand, should be ready in 30 days.
We're talking a bit more about that later.
Right.
The daily guide for today says Finance Ministry in 1.3 million procurement breach. Top justices, lawyers rally for Tokonu. 5 killed, 6 sustained injuries over Biniri land dispute. I think that's in the Savannah region. U.S. assists Ghana in helicopter crash investigation. And no oversettlement of public debts. That no overstatement of public debts. That's according to the Controller and Accountant General.
The Hawk newspaper is warning the public also about a trend very dangerous to public safety. NPA is warning against cylinder repainting people are repainting cylinders. It appears there are some safety concerns that the NPA is worried about, so you might want to check that if you're on that happen. Then there's the talk about the excavators for cash. Of course, the minister and the army chiefs have been dragged to EOCO over some Simpa Junction deal. All of that being spoken about on the Hawk newspaper. No more blackouts. That's the assurance from the energy minister. John Jinapo declares that the dark days are over. So some stories you'd find here on the Hawk.
The Daybreak newspaper says National Lottery Authority in turmoil. Acting DG Mohammed Abdul Salam's future hangs by a thread, and it says you should stay tuned for explosive details. Galamsey fight probe Amako Fibua. T petitions EOCO over release of seized excavators. Yusuf joins chopper crash investigations, and the big one here says Bani Yusuf Suleimana Agaga Alabi tipped to replace Omane Boama.
That's the tallest.
Yes.
And go through the list again.
Bani, as in Prosper Bani.
Right.
Currently National Security Advisor to the President, former Chief of Staff, former Interior Minister. Yusuf Suleimana Agaga Alabi tipped to replace Omane Boama.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
who would you put your money on?
I was going to ask you.
Prosper Bani.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he'll do a good job.
Okay.
And he's very close to the president, one who served as, the president's, he served as chief of staff. He became interior minister.
Yeah.
And currently is national security advisor to the president. And so for such a person, it's one that the president can trust. And when the NDC was in opposition, he actually was the man who led their security arrangements and everything. So he's one you can trust with. In fact, as part of the even during the transition period, he played a role in the national security portfolio. The expectation at the time was that he would have been made national security minister, but because of the number of ministers that the president had promised prior to his assumption of office, he didn't get that. So he will be my pick. But anyway, let's get into other stories.
Yeah, and probably we might just want to do the National Enquirer now, which is talking about Julius Stebra speaking on the digitalization of the economy. He says it's actually at the heart of the government's growth strategy. Perry Okujeto buries his father this Saturday, quite a sad one. So our thoughts are with him as he goes through that this weekend as well. And NPP left 9 billion debt in the agri sector. That's according to the agri minister Eric Opoku. I'm sure that the NPP in the coming days will also try and put their side of the story out. Then the president's visit to Japan, Ghana secures $100 million for new agricultural projects. That's according to the foreign minister Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. Health minister hits back at critics. He says he's a proud farmer because you know that some of the unionists, the nursing groups, some of their leaders were kind of raising concerns as to why would have someone who's a non-medic lead the health ministry. Their view is that, well, when that happens, such a person will need a lot more education on the sector.
And he's hitting back by saying that he's a
proud farmer, of course.
The challenge here for me is that this is a man who was a ranking member of the health committee in parliament.
That's right.
And so, I mean, the health sector is not new to him.
Right. At all.
He's one who's been, and in those days when the health personnel had issues and they went to parliament, he was one of the people you would engage on these issues. So, and also, I mean, why do we assume that everything, as the president's representative in the health ministry, he has a deputy minister who is a doctor, who is a medical doctor.
A professor?
No.
Okay, a doctor. By the way.
I mean, I've told you before that Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa is not a professor.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
We like titles in this country.
Blessed, you are very, very, very mischievous.
He just wants me to say that she's not a professor. Of course she's not. And I have no problem saying that. She'd be able to assist him.
Okay, so you see, for me, I think the real issue here is, why is it that the medical professionals feel unrepresented by their minister? I think that's the real question here. what is creating this rift? Is it just the recent events? This individual who filmed himself attacking medical staff. I've never come across anything quite so idiotic. He filmed himself doing it. But yeah, I mean, is it that? Is it that which is bringing some kind of wedge between them? Do they feel that the health minister's handling of that matter didn't represent them as much as they would have liked? Is that why they are raising all of these concerns? Because I don't think you have to be a doctor in order to be a good health minister. Right. I don't think that is a requirement at all.
Yeah.
Right. So probably maybe we should just look at what it is that is bringing this gap between them.
Okay, the last one is still talking about the NPA story. Edwiji Tamoklo is also having a message for the public about repainting of rusty gas cylinders. So please, if you're listening to us this morning, just once more, a reminder that if you have any problems with your cylinder, you might want to get a new one or seek expert advice. In fact, this brings to mind the cylinder recirculation model. Winston, I believe we've passed the timeline, right? Because we had a whole plan for that. We missed the timeline. And I don't know what's made
is it still the agenda of this government to carry out that recirculation?
I think that the cylinder recirculation model missed a point. Now, the point they missed was the fact that the non-utilization of LPG wasn't because of availability of cylinder, but the cost. And I went around the country and put together that documentary, Gas to Charcoal, where there were areas where people had actually stopped using gas and had resorted to charcoal. And they tell us that, look, in one of the areas that I was in, Dromankese, in the Bono region, Bono East, this man told me, and that was the Assembly's presiding member, he told me that if he buys gas, it would actually last him, say, 4 weeks. If he buys a sack of charcoal, it can last him more than that. Yes. So he prefers to use his charcoal. And there are other people, I went to Achimota Market, and the lady who sells charcoal said that if they reduce the price of LPG, then people don't buy charcoal.
Right.
And once they increase the price, people are buying charcoal. Right. So she's always happy when they increase the price. Of course, everybody and what he or she likes. So I think the problem, and the NPA knows this, they know that a product that started with subsidies is ended today with taxes. How do you explain that? And we have been thinking of a 50%. Look, we don't even have 50% penetration though, of LPG usage in this country. We're thinking of 50% penetration by 2030. And we're losing out because it's too expensive. Too expensive. And that's the problem. As we speak, we are still giving out free cylinder to people because we want them to use the cylinder. So why don't you reduce the price of LPG? The taxes. Anyway.
By the way, let's not gloss over the safety issue there.
Sure.
Okay, of painting over rusted gas. Look, if your gas cylinder is rusty, it's not a function of beauty and appearance. It's a safety issue. So please, don't just paint over it, make it look good, and hope that you've solved the problem. Take it and get a new one.
Now the Business and Financial Times CSOs warn PRMA amendment could obscure oil revenue spending, capitalize on cedi gains to import agric manufacturing machinery. AGI Treasurer, yield compression slowdown to persist in second half of 2025 as Treasury prepares bond market return. Ethel Kofi leads women in fintech delegation to BOG, and Bayport delivers strong first half 2025 result, surpasses full year 2024 profits in 6 months. Let's see what's online. MyJoyOnline.com, Ghana Singapore trade crosses 215 million US dollars. The president, John Mahama, who's there, is eyeing $1 billion growth in bilats, and of course it's part of the engagement he's been doing. I'm sure that he's rounding off that tour and hoping to set sail back home. Now, Africa needs fair finance, not charity. That's the president re-echoing what I guess former President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has been talking about, that we need to trade
not aid. He's re-echoing such a sentiment as well. I'm just wondering why it never materializes when all of these African leaders say, well, we want to trade, we don't need aid. Can we really do without the aid?
It's because when the aid comes, we don't say no. And of course, in order for you to trade and make money from it, you need to be doing several things right in your country. We are not doing those things right. So we don't have advantage when it comes to trade.
Question for the gods.
Yo.
IGP deploys team to Savannah region following that deadly community clash, which Winston was bringing to us earlier. We understand a lot of people, some people have been injured, and there's a casualty, I believe, as well.
Yeah. Actually, wait, is it just one casualty?
Not sure.
I think 5 persons have died.
5 in all.
And 6 injured.
5 in all. Yeah,
Okay.
5 in all.
We'll bring more detail of that to you as the day goes on.
And then the 24-hour economy is taking center stage as Ghana courts global capital, and vehicle dealers union are also distancing themselves from the alleged stolen cars. They are pledging support for that crackdown because they believe that that's really affecting their markets. This whole syndicate operating and bringing stolen vehicles. Their members are not part.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The police, GRA, sometimes they arrest these people. They know them. I mean, I know someone who was arrested by the police some time ago for driving a stolen vehicle. And these persons, some of them say, "Oh, but the movement for go on." I said, "Okay, movement for go on. Then you deserve the arrest." Because these are people who sometimes would walk up to you and say, they are arresting. No, I mean, they think that because they have a friend in the media, they are arresting us, or they know you, they are arresting us. People should talk about it. And I said, I don't talk about those things. If you know you didn't do the right thing, end of story. Let the police deal with you. That's why I say that the security agencies can get this. They know them. If they want to deal with this, they can deal with it. And so the question is, how does it happen that many of these people end up free after they are arrested? They know what they've been doing. Anyway.